Hey guys, this is Jonathon Henderson with Pressure Washing Marketing Pros, and I got Corey Edmonds with me of My Service Robot. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I really wanted to get you on because you work with a lot of our clients and you're helping automate their business, man. And as you know, we do marketing, and what you're doing for them, where you're automating their processes, you're following up with their clients, you've made such an impact on and a help on what we're doing. And so I wanted to have you on here today to talk about you, where you owned a $2 million exterior cleaning business that you sold back in 2023. And then obviously you built that off systems and processes. And so I also want to talk about the automation piece of it and what you're doing at My Service Robot. And also for guys that are kind of resistant and hesitant upon like implementing this in their business, you kind of shedding some light on that, man.
Yeah, totally, totally. So to go back to square one, when I
Yeah.
started my business, I was in the pressure washing industry. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia. I built a pressure washing company from zero, I bought a pressure washing company for $1,500, believe it or not. We were spraying cars on dealership lots, just shamming them down Thursdays and Fridays. So that's where I started. And I was like, hey, we can wash semi trucks. Hey, we can wash heavy equipment. Hey, I got into this niche where we wash rock drills. And so these things paid out like hundreds of dollars, right? $1,000 a piece. We'd knock out two, three in a day. So I built that company up to like 700,000, and then it was a mess. I mean, my employees were all over the place. I think my biggest year was like 700,000. I'm like a 21-year-old kid. We did $700,000, and I lost 7 grand. My accountant's like, "You lost 7 grand." I'm like, "How in the? Are we allowed to cuss in here?"
Yeah, yeah, man, you're good. How in
I'm
the
like, "How
hell
in
did
the
you lose?
fuck?
Yeah.
How in the world did we lose $7,000? We did 700." So that was a big learning experience. From that point, I was like, okay, this is crazy. So I burnt everything down to the ground, cherry picked my good customers, kept them, and I just did it myself for like 2 years. And I just made 180, $200,000 myself, right? Just doing the stuff, and I traveled the world. So I did that for 2 years, but like that was that burning desire, to build a business that I could sell, and I felt like I had failed, right? So, in a nutshell, my wife, her sister moved to Washington State, and so when we were traveling the world, we visited her a couple times, and they're like, "Y'all got nothing going on. Why don't you just move out here?" Right? So I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." Right? And so I sold my house, sold all my trucks. I always flipped cars on the side too, so I had a bunch of trucks. So sold all them, sold my pressure washing business, believe it or not, sold that. And I moved out to Washington State. And when I mean I sold it, I had like $40,000 to my name, right? One
Yeah.
lump sum. And then I drove across the country, right? That was $6,000 in gasoline to drive 2 trucks across the country on one trip, and then get a box truck, drive my truck. So now I'm in Washington State with like 30 grand or less, right? So I don't want people to think that I got like some loan from my dad for $1 million to do this. No, I didn't. So started in Washington from $0. The only people I knew were my brother and sister-in-law, basically, right? They were bartenders. So I was like, I don't know anybody, right?
Yeah.
So I literally just went to the bar where they worked and just had them introduce me to their friends. That's kind of how I started going. Believe it or not, my first customer was out of their bar, right? But I got into, I was pressure washing houses in Georgia just a little bit. I didn't know much about it. I knew that I could make thousands of dollars a day, but I was like
Mhm.
scared to sell that.
Mhm.
Um, so my first job in Washington was like $1,200, and then I'm scared as hell of heights. Like
Mhm.
every single call I got was to clean roofs, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm just like shivered and shaken. I would only take these 1-story houses. And so I hired a guy that was good on roofs or whatever, and so we kind of took off from there. So I can't remember exactly the year that I moved, but it was like, I think it was 2019. So 2019, The only thing I didn't know how to market, like I didn't know how to get leads online. So all I knew was like hustle and go meet people.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally took a spreadsheet, I printed it out and put it on a clipboard. And I went to, my goal was to hit 30 to 40 businesses per day that I knew could refer me more work. And so I went and met with people day after day, and I logged them all on a spreadsheet, their names, their numbers, their emails.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back home and manually emailed them. Now doing what I do with my service robot,
Yeah.
I automate that for a lot of our customers, right?
Yeah.
So you can make a lot of money just going meeting people. So I would manually email them and call them. In year one, I drummed up we did $180,000. Year two, which was 2020, I managed to go, excuse me, no, I must have moved out there in 2018. 2018, we did 180. 2019, we did 300 some $1,000. Actually, it was 275. I remember now because I wanted to join Conquer Coaching because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was afraid they were going to decline me because I wasn't making enough money. So I lied and told them I was making more money than I was. 275,000 is what I did. I didn't know how I was going to pay the 700 a month for Conquer Coaching, but I knew that it would help me out, and I was like willing to put in the work. So we ended the year 275. We go into 2020. I finally got hooked up with somebody to do, I think it was Click Call Sell, did Google Ads for me, Google My Business. And then again, I didn't know how to get leads online. So we did street signs, and then we just continue to meet people. I hired a salesperson. As the business owner doing everything in the business, when I would go quote customers, I would be like friendly with them, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll throw that in. I'll throw that in. I'll throw that in. As soon as I hired a sales guy, he stopped throwing shit in. And so he increased he doubled our average ticket price. So with the current lead flow that we had, he was able to double our ticket price, which doubled our revenue. So we actually ended 2020 at like $750,000. In 2021, we hit 1.5 million. And then in 2023, we did like just under $2.5 million, like 2.3 something million dollars. So that was my journey. The original salesperson that I hired, I lucked out. I stole him out of an AT&T store. He was selling me phones. And believe it or not, AT&T, I don't know if they do this for everybody, but they send these guys that are selling you phones, they're making $120,000 a year. Believe it or not.
I didn't know that.
It's ridiculous. It was hard to get him away from that job, believe it or not. And so, but he just didn't want to be stuck in the store anymore. So AT&T sends their guys to sales training. And so it was kind of like a plug and play type deal.
Yeah. So
he was ready to go. So I plugged him in. He doubled my average ticket price, doubled my closing ratio. We doubled our revenue. And then from there, he trained the next sales guy and then the next part-time sales guy, basically. And then eventually towards the end, I was like, Cole always knew that I was going to move back south. I'd never wanted to live in Washington for more than 5 years, right? So Cole always wanted to buy the business from me. And so towards the end, I started finding some gaps in the business. So like we were sending so many estimates, the sales guys were just lead chasing. They weren't following up on estimates. I noticed we were losing track of leads. There was a lot of things. And so I set out, I hired a Facebook ads agency, and they dropped high level on me, and it was a freaking nightmare. And, wrong messages going to the wrong people. They didn't show me how to use it. They just turned it on, did my Facebook ads. I'm like, dude, you're like scaring people away.
Yeah.
So, I used that platform. And then I was like, you know what? I'm fed up with this. Let me go to Chirp. So I went to Chirp and I used them, and I'm like, high level is easier to use. So I went back to high level. I was like, all right, I'm going to figure this out. So that's when I determined, I built it out, handed it to my team, and they're like, this is manual. This is double data entry. We're not using it. And so I was like, okay, all right, let me automate it. Let me figure out how to automate it. So that's where I spent hours and hours of time on YouTube figuring out webhooks and reading API documentation and just all this stuff that's not making me any money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I figured that out, connected Housecall Pro, handed it off to the team, worked like a charm. And then like there was other things that I could automate too. Like I was constantly speaking over to my guys over and over and over, like wash your trucks on Friday, clean off the shop, all this. So with high level, I automated messages to remind them to do these things. I made a checklist in high level where you could drop photos of the truck. So every Friday, my lead technicians, they got a text message that with the form to do their inventory on the truck and submit photos of the clean truck. So I was like, holy crap. So I'm automating all this stuff. I made a year's calendar of what needed to be done at certain points in time and set up automated text messages to go to the people on my team to get those things done. It saved me so much breath, so much time. Some of the two major things that helped me scale so fast was also video training. So inside a high level, it has a video training platform. So as I grew my business and fired myself out of each position, I started with the technician position. I'm working on the truck. So if people are watching this, you're working on the truck, you want to get off the truck. While you're on the truck, you need to film everything. So the way I break down my training videos is think of a new employee coming into your business. And I know the guys on the truck, they've done this a million times, hired, trained people, and then they leave, 2 weeks later after they've spent all this time. So what you need to do is now you got ChatGPT. So open your GPT app on your phone, hit the little microphone button, and tell it, like, what a new person that's coming into my company, think about that person coming into the company. What's the first thing you're going to tell them? When payday is, what to wear, where to show up, the gate codes, where's the keys to the truck? How do I log into Housecall Pro or Java or whatever that is, right? How do I check my schedule? How do I clock out, right? How do I check my schedule? All right. Now, how do I load my truck based on these services?
Yeah.
How do I show up to the job site? Where do I park? How should the job site look? Okay. How to perform each service? How to collect payment? Okay. So think of it like that, brain dump it into ChatGPT, make a checklist. And then while you're in the field, start shooting these videos, right? And then with high level, it has a video training platform. So I'd shoot the videos, load it in, and build my training. And so now I've got tech training done. Move on to sales. You're probably doing the sales next, right? So do the sales the same way. Knock that out. Then go to the office because you're going to be doing the office, right? So that's what I did. The other number 2 biggest thing that you got to do is implement performance pay. So implementing performance pay, pay a commission, right? You don't have to stand over the guys to make sure they get the job done. They're getting a cut. They're like a mini business owner, right? So, so yeah, that's what I did with high level. And then in Washington State, it's a pro employee state, whereas the South, the Bible Belt, is a pro employer state. The states love employers, people that employ people, right? In Washington, they hate small business. They hate
the West Coast, man, in general, California, Oregon, Washington. Yeah, man. Yeah.
We literally have narc hotlines on billboards going down the interstate. Did your employer say the wrong thing to you? Call this number and rat them out.
Yeah.
Okay. I was getting that was happening, right? I'm a to the point guy. I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I expect you to do the same with me. If I got a booger hanging on my nose, you better tell me, right? Yeah. I don't care if it's going to hurt my feelings. I need to get that booger wiped off, right? That's the type of person I am. So, anywho, so I had, complaints. I had inspections. I had like water quality issues, all this type of shit. And I was like, okay, there's like a lot of safety documentation that's involved with operating out here. I've got to get it under control. I've got to automate it. So that's where I started to automate my hiring process. So I automated the hiring process so that everything was signed, the training was assigned, and certificates were issued when they completed training. So now when a guy fell off the roof and broke his ribs because he wasn't wearing a rope, when he tried to make a claim against me, I said, here you go, state of Washington. Here's his certificate of training. Here's all of the stuff that he had access to. take a look, come in, investigate, do your thing, right? And they would turn it around on the employee and say, we can't pay out on this because you didn't follow the directions. So I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars I saved from those scenarios. We had chemical burns, all types of stuff. It's like gloves were there. You got safety training. You were taught everything. Let me circle back to the training. You can go into ChatGPT now and you can say, search YouTube for this safety video. So even OSHA, the main OSHA website, even Washington State, it's called Labor and Industries. You can go to the Labor and Industries site. They have all the YouTube videos already shot for you. Ladder safety, chemical safety, fire smoke safety. I mean, it was wild out there. Heat stroke safety. So take those safety videos and build it, right? So if you can R&D, I call it R&D, right? Rip and duplicate. Okay. So if you can rip and duplicate, you're going to go a lot faster. So if you can take those videos and plug them, like people have already shot these videos. So just go find them on YouTube, plug it into your training. If you don't have the time to shoot everything yourself, or you're worried about, maybe doing the safety a little bit wrong and then getting pinned with something, right? So that's what I would say, get that safety training done. So these were the things that I was doing with high level. And then towards the end of my career out there, I kind of showed this stuff off, right? And then I just had like a flood of people that wanted me to do it for them. And
I remember that, man. I remember I've been friends with you on Facebook for like 3-4 years, but I remember when you were posting it, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh man, he's actually, but go on, man, because you're killing it right now, man. You're getting it. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I'm sorry for talking so much.
Oh man, no, this is actually exactly what I want. Like people don't want to hear me talk, they want to hear you talk. So keep going, man. Keep going.
So towards the end of my time in Washington, Cole was like, Cole, like I'm like, this business is taking off. I kind of stepped back. I was like, Cole, you general manage it. He was the original salesperson I hired that wanted to buy the business. I transitioned him into a GM role where he just kind of handled everything. I just sat in my office and, did these things. Right. And so pretty soon, like my service robot took off. I was like, oh my God, I can't even handle all these builds. I can't handle all the support questions. And so I hired, staff. So support staff. We have a full-time developer on our team now. We have a full-time sales team. We have appointment setters. We have a marketing team. Like, it's unbelievable now. There's myself, whatever. But high level has just got so much power. I'll give you a link that you can put in this video so people can check out like all the different things that you can do with high level. Our white label brand is called My Service Robot. And now high level is an empty slate, right? It's a powerful software if you can apply it. Most people don't know how to apply it, right? And so I don't mean to be cocky or anything like that, but ain't nobody touching us. Ain't nobody gonna even touch us. We have so many users now too. They're pushing us. So they are saying, "Hey, can you do this?" Like I had a guy, an HVAC company, hit me up the other day. He's like, "We got a problem with collections," and he's like, "I need a dashboard for all my payments, and I need it to automatically send it off to collections once it's late." So we set up a payment dashboard for him so that they can collect on payments. If it doesn't get paid on time, it automatically goes to collections. So like there's so many use cases our users are pushing us, and we're like developing and learning how to do new things. So there's a lot of people that resell high level that have never built and scaled a home service company. So that's the biggest problem with computer developers. I mean, not knocking Housecall Pro at all, right? But the developers are sitting behind, that are developing Housecall Pro. They're sitting behind a computer screen building what they think we know or that we need. They're building what they think we need and how they think it should work. This is a guy sitting behind a computer screen. So now if you take that guy off the computer and you make him go use Housecall Pro and go do some jobs for 30 days, I bet he builds Housecall Pro differently, right? So that's where I have my knowledge and experience, and I can actually apply high level to how you're actually running your business, to what you actually need. So these are all practical use cases, not just some dude proclaiming to be a guru that sits behind a computer, builds all this stuff. So all this stuff is applicable.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, it's a CRM that we use in our agency, right? And like I'm telling you, you have to spend hours on it because even as like a marketing agency, man, and agency owners, you'll still hear them say like, "Oh man, I need to hire somebody to know how to do go high level for me." And I'm like, dude, as a marketing agency, you have to know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like no if and or but. Like you have to know how to go ahead and use it and kind of just sit down there, like you said, and play around with it because it is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It is the future, and the businesses that utilize it the best, they're gonna win, especially in the AI age. I like what you said about the training. It's the same thing that I do, to where like even when I'm training my team, I'll just make a video and I will just ramble for like 45 minutes, man. Like like saying all the intricacies of a task. I'll take that transcript, I'll just upload that to ChatGPT, and I'll be like, hey, make a complete guide, make an SOP, make a frequently asked question, or ask me like some things that my employees may ask me. They may have questions, or that they may get stuck on that I need to clarify more. They'll send me those questions. I'll answer them again. And dude, I have like a complete guideline of something. And I tell our guys, like, dude, what you said was gold about as soon as you're on the truck. I tell a lot of guys, like, stop just executing the job. Go out.
Right. You're not moving yourself forward by doing that.
Exactly. Like you have to work 1.5, I would say 2 times harder. You know what I mean in terms of that, but it'll save you so much time on the back end because guys will be like, "Oh, dude, I was training this one guy for 2 years. He was working with me for 2 years and he left." And then they like they don't want to hire it again. They don't want
Back to square one.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
so what were some things that you did? Because you talked about the hiring funnel for your business with my, well, with my service robot, but like for your exterior cleaning business, what were some things that you automated in your hiring process that guys can automate as well that are like, hey man, I have a hiring process, but dude, I'm taking 2 or 3 weeks out doing this, doing that. What are some things that exterior cleaning businesses can do to automate that hiring process?
Yeah, so in high level, you can create, it's called a survey, but I use them as a digital application. So you can put that, you can then create the survey, get the link, right? Turn it into QR codes, put it on your business cards, put it on your truck. We're hiring, whatever. People can scan it, fill it out. So we're taking that link also, we're throwing it on Indeed, ZipRecruiter. There's a new program. I haven't used it yet. I just signed up for it, but it's called Workable. It posts to like 200 different job boards, including Indeed. And so we'll take that, right? Post the link on there, right? The biggest problem in the hiring process is like when you post an ad on Indeed, you get thousands of applications. Mm-hmm. To go through and sift through those manually is unbelievable. It's a huge waste of time. It's so stupid. Yeah. I don't even read resumes anymore. With ChatGPT,
I don't either, man. I don't even do. I don't either.
I had a good friend in high school. She is so funny. She faked her resume right out of high school and literally went and got $120,000 a year job right out of high school, no college degree, just totally faked her resume. Uh-huh. So like, I don't even read a resume. But anyway, we put that link on the job ad and we say, to be considered for this position, you must fill out this application. So let's say you have 1,000 applications on Indeed, but in your high level account, you only have 5 people. Those 5 people did step number 1 and read their directions. So that is already unbelievably increased quality of person, right? Because they followed the directions immediately. So they're going to follow more directions. So it jumps your quality of applicant immediately right there. So now instead of sifting through 1,000 people, you're only calling 5. Right. So what we have, I went overboard with the hiring funnel. It can be simpler, but as soon as they came in, like we would go check their Facebook page. That was the first test. We got their name, we checked their Facebook page, make sure they're not smoking blunts, right, on their profile photo. I had chicks in the office. So I always told the girls, like, look at this person's profile photo and tell me, would you feel comfortable in a room alone with this person? That was our check. Make sure they're not smoking weed, doing drugs. They don't look crazy, right? Number 2, do you feel comfortable in a room with this person? If they did, we moved them forward in the pipeline. It would send them a text for them to book their phone interview. Then after that, we'd move them forward. They'd book their in-person interview. Then after that, it would send them their onboarding documents. So I did like a DocuSign link. It would send them their whole onboarding packet. So it digitized it. So the other problem, I used to print all these papers out on the computer. It's like 40, 50 pages. What a waste of ink. What a waste of paper. And then these people would come into the office, chat with the girls in the office. I always tried to hire hot chicks in the office, right? Because the guys love it, right? The techs love it. They love coming to work. They love, flirting with them.
Hey, look, I'm glad you're at least saying this, because some people will be like, oh, but I'm like, man, that's always how it's been. Even if you go to like some like chiropractic office, right? It's like if you got some dude there that's like just like, oh, okay. But if you get some hot chick at a chiropractic office and she's like at the front desk doing all of that, the guys might be like 20% of the reason why they probably go is they're like, I'll see Mary Ann today, or something like that, right?
I know it kind of sounds shallow, but
No,
like,
it does, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
it is the truth, man. I always tried to like our team for our pressure washing business, we were like the high school jocks, you know what I mean? Like we were the cool kids. And that's how we kept people for so long, right? They enjoyed coming to work with A players, like good looking people, like all of our guys. They worked out, like they were muscular, six packs, and that's just like it was like a dream come true. So they stayed long. I didn't really have much turnover. We all enjoyed each other. But yeah, the
hiring process. Talk about
the hiring pipeline. It would send them their documentation. It would send them what I call a first day document. That was everything that they needed to know: where to get their, where to show up, what time, what to wear, when was payday. Then from there, it automated getting their driver's license and sending it over to my insurance agent automatically to add them to insurance. And then also it automated a 7-day review, a 14-day review, a 30-day review, and a 90-day review to my manager and then to the applicant, right? So when a new employee would come in, we'd have a 7-day review, 14, 30, and 90-day review to make sure they were on track, learning everything, and then determine if we need to cut them or not, right? So that was all automated. So my crew manager would just handle that. It's unbelievable. My crew manager every 2 weeks, he would get a text with our inventory. So it was again another survey, had our inventory. He would just write how much we had of everything. That would then populate into a spreadsheet. He would then send that spreadsheet to me and it would tell us how much we needed to order and what the cost of it was going to be. And I would say yes or no, order it. So like there's just so freaking much that you can automate with high level. It's unfreaking believable. I call it the most powerful software on the planet. But yeah, and then even firing them. So, when we fired an employee, we'd move it into offboarding, and then it would trigger a checklist to go to the office. So like we had a specific process to offboard them. And so like in Housecall Pro, if you fire somebody, you go delete the employee, you lose all their time records. So you have to download the time records first and then delete them, right? So it's very intricate stuff like that, right? We needed all that documentation and load it into their employee file, whatever. But yeah, that's how I automated a lot of that crap. And this is stuff that's not making you money, right? So like it wasn't making me money to freaking do all of this, but I had to do it because of the state I was in. It was just, unbelievable.
No, most definitely, man. And I think the hiring process stuff, just like you said, because I automated mine. I remember I just automated our hiring process like a year ago. Because I was in that same way where we would have a trial test, but then I realized like, man, our trial tests are kind of easy. You know what I mean? Just like you talked about where you filter people out, I would get like 500 applicants. And then usually with the trial test that I would put, I'd be like, all right, but I think people are getting more and more kind of accustomed to them now. You have to make it even more and more difficult. Because I'm getting 200 people out of 500. Like, this is way too much. You know, sitting there, and I have an auto booking thing where they'll go through a survey, just like you said. And based off certain questions, how they answer it, I'll just qualify them. Like it'll go through and it'll say like,
Go straight to a booking page.
yeah, it won't even go to a booking page if they answer it wrong on the survey.
Right. Kicks
They'll
them out.
be like, yeah, we'll just be like, thank you for submitting. We'll be in touch with you. If they say
Yep.
the right things, it takes them to the next step, right? Which is like, do this trial. Because I do another thing where I make them take like a little like 5-10 minute test. Then when they do that, I have them answer even more questions, right? And then when I have them answer those questions, it actually takes them to a booking page. So then I don't have to communicate with the person and be
Right.
like, hey, when are you free? My calendar's right there. They just get on my calendar, they find a time that they can go on, and bam, I'm like, oh, I have an interview with this person for this today, this, that, and the other, and I'm good to go. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, man. Automating the hiring process and what guys can do. And that's what I want to say too. Your specialty in the exterior cleaning industry, it's going to allow guys, if they were to hire your service at My Service Robot or even look at automation, like you would be somebody that would be in their shoes, because you're right. Even for me, I could look at it, and of course I work with these guys like consistently. So there's a lot of things that I can see, but there's going to be things that I may not know, like the safety regulations that you just talked about, right?
Yep.
Man, like automating that process. So if you're sitting here and there's somebody listening right now and they're like, man, Corey's been spitting that fire right now. You know what I mean? But they're like, look, man, I have no automations. I don't know what the hell you're talking about as much, Corey. Like, I know you sound like you're an expert. Everything that you're sounding is good. What's one thing, man? Like, I'm a truck on the truck right now. I have a CRM like Markate, Jobber, Housecall Pro, whatever it is. I have a CRM right now. I'm barely kind of using it. What is the first thing I can do right now? What automation will have the most impact for my business right now? If you could tell somebody that's listening to this, like if they're in that situation, what's the biggest?
Yeah. So I make a distinction really quick. So
Yeah.
Housecall Pro, Jobber, Markate, those are what I call FSMs, Field Service Manager. It's
Uh-huh.
meant for quoting, invoicing, scheduling, clock in, clock out. It's not technically a CRM, which is a customer relationship manager, something like that, right? So now, like our target client is doing $1 million or more. So that is our target client. A lot of the guys that are on the truck, when we plug in our system, there's so many people texting them that it overwhelms them, right?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have shifted our focus to only work with $1 million and up companies or people that are right on the edge, really close to $1 million, really see the value and want to do it, right? Our other target qualification is office staff. So we only work with people that are close to $1 million and above and have office staff to handle the conversations. So those are our two requirements when it comes to what we do over here. So like if you are still on the truck, then I would say use your FSM to do whatever. So whether that be upgrade in Housecall Pro to the pro plan, right? And set up your sales follow-ups. That's your biggest bang for your buck, is to have automations going on your sales follow-ups. So like when you give an estimate, you need touch points, right? Hitting the customer, getting them to approve. Most jobs, most estimates that are given, those are going to approve between 10 and 14 days, I would say, probably even sooner. 2 to 10 days. 2 to 10 days is usually when those things are going to approve typically. Now you'll get some that, approve later on.
Man, and like how some guys think that they should be able to close the guy and get the invoice and all that approved in one day, man. It's not,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not one day, Corey. Oh my gosh, man.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so, when you're on the truck and you're doing all the things, you're doing the work, you're doing the estimating, you're doing all this stuff, you're going home and then doing all the accounting and all this other crap, you don't have time to follow up, right? So you need something following up for you, helping you get more revenue so that you can get off of the truck. You can hire that next person, right? So like Markate, I think it has pretty good stuff. I mean, Markate is pretty well-rounded for being a cheap software.
Yeah.
Cheap scheduling app. So Markate is awesome. Like I don't love the UI of it, but dude, it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful out of all of them. Jobber's got some good stuff. Customer Factor, not in love with Customer Factor at all.
UI on that, I don't like the UI on customer.
I can.
Whenever a client tells us they have Customer Factor and we got to do some automation stuff with them with that, or like whatever it is, I'm like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the biggest thing is those sales follow-ups. that's about all you can do with the field service managers. Now, when it comes to high level,
what about reviews too? Reviews too. What about reviews in your field service manager? Because I know like Housecall Pro has like an automation where you can send reviews, right? Too.
Yeah. Automating the reviews. Yeah. That's good. It's going to help get more visibility, get more leads. Like with our, close to 1 million and above customers, they're spending a lot of money on marketing, right? So a lot of, obviously they need sales follow-ups. That's the biggest one. But going backwards, I always think of the customer journey, right? The customer always comes in as a new lead or a phone call, right? When you're spending a ton of money on marketing, your team's probably losing leads, and lead costs have skyrocketed, right? So like leads for my home service business, when I was out there, they're probably up even higher, but a quality lead was anywhere from $75 to $100. And if you're sending those leads to your email inbox and your team's calling them and that person doesn't pick up the phone, you're probably losing that lead because your team doesn't remember to follow up. So if you lose 3, 4, 5, let's say $500 leads a day, right? That's $500 floating out the door. That's unbelievable. That's over $10,000 a month.
Bingo.
That's like $15,000 a month, right? So going back to that stage, we bring in all the leads so they're organized. You don't miss them. They're displayed on the dashboard. And then that lead's pushed into your scheduling app, your field service manager. And then it makes the process real easy. The person moves through the pipeline automatically. Then when the job is done, you need to get that customer on the schedule again for the next year. So reoccurring work reminders. So when I talk My Service Robot, the very first thing that we do is connect all the lead sources, connect the scheduling app, right? That does 3 things. It increases your booking rate. That's how many new leads get scheduled for estimates. It increases your closing rate by closing more open estimates, and it increases your repeat review referral rate, right? So those are the 3 things that we want to increase right off the bat. That's going to generate money, give you a return on your investment, using My Service Robot. And then from there, we can go automate hiring, right? You're not going to make money by automating hiring, but you're going to save a shitload of time.
And time is what?
Money. Exactly.
Bingo. Yep.
Yeah. So those are the 3 things that we do. We have a framework that we use that I've built out for everything. I streamline everything. So like for My Service Robot, it's all streamlined. So we have a framework that we use in high level, and then we have a framework depending on what scheduling app you use. So we use Zapier to connect the 2, right? So we have a framework for each one: Housecall Pro, Jobber, Customer Factor, all of them, Markate, all of them, Workies, ServiceSide, all of them. So we have a framework. So we'll then connect the 2 programs together. Depending on how big the customer is, usually our bigger customers, I call it untangling an extension cord. So the bigger customers, it's like a big wiry extension cord that's all tangled up, and we have to untangle it. So oftentimes it takes more calls with those clients to get everything untangled and working properly. But our framework works, except for every single customer, we have to tweak the framework. We already know what is getting tweaked. So we have that all nailed down in a document. That's what we ask in our onboarding calls, our very specific questions. Because like some customers do more commercial, some do more, residential.
Yeah.
Wow, what you can do with the automations, like we branch down the automations. So like in our automations, like we have a follow-up sequence, right? But if it's a commercial job, it should get these texts and emails. If it's residential, it gets these texts and emails. So like just real simple stuff that people don't even know, right? And I'm sure they'll figure out after I say this, but like in Housecall Pro, like you can put a company name in there, and then you can put a person's name. So if it has a company name, it's probably commercial, right? So it would get commercial messages. Yep. So that's just the automations that we set up. Also, there's customers that have what I call unrelated services. So maybe he pressure washes, maybe he does concrete coatings, maybe he does plumbing. These are 3 unrelated services that need specific
pressure washing sites.
Exactly. These need specific text and email sequences, right? So We have like a developer on our team. So most of our Housecall Pro, our job, or our service site, we have our own custom apps hooked to their API so that we can read more data that is accessible to most people. And so like we can just read the line items and say, boom, this needs to get these text messages. So we're doing all of that. And then when the job is done, it's like, okay, this was the stuff on the service. Boom, for roof clean, we're hit them up in 2 years to re-clean it again. Gutter clean, we're going to hit them up in 30 days. Window or
6 months,
months.
whatever. Yeah, 6 months. Yeah.
So it's all happening automatically. So these are the things that we just customize in the onboarding process to get everything dialed. And then from there, we just help them layer the account. And then we support them. That's the other big issue. A lot of these high level gurus, I don't want to say any names, but so like they'll ditch you off to virtual assistants in the Philippines and India. And so you're speaking with people that don't have an effing clue what you do or how to practically apply it. With ours, we don't do that. Like you're speaking with people that are in the home service industry. All of our team has been in the home service industry. Most of our team are users that have either just quit washing totally to come make more money here because they enjoy it, right? So it's freaking wild, man. I love it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that it's a platform that needs to be promoted more. Just because like I said, I've been using it in ours, like whether it's our appointment funnel, whenever people, because some people be like, man, this guy's texting me. I'm like, dude, I really think I'm texting you? I'm really not texting you.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm really not texting you, but you're right. One thing that I want to say that you said that was golden, right? And I'm actually having a video come about it because I'm like, man, and I know you hear the same thing, is where guys will say, and I know you see it, guys will say, man, I need more leads, man. I need more leads. I need more leads. And you're like, dude, I'm looking at how many leads you're getting. And like, I had a call with a client, right? He's in an area. We've ranked him very well, all of that stuff. We have two clients in the same area. One of them does $1 million. One of them does like 250,000. They're like, they always look at themselves and compare to this $1 million company. And they're always like, oh, well, what is this? I'm like, dude, you guys, at least online, are getting the same amount of leads. It's how you handle them, though.
Oh, yeah.
They have processes in place where they're following up these leads, they're getting them. And like you said, if we both are getting 100 leads, right? And I get in contact, even just contact rate, even if you just get in contact with that person and you raise that up, you will raise your sales. Sometimes you don't need to be better at sales. You just need more people to get in contact with.
Yeah.
Contact with 30 more people and you have the same close rate, all of that, you'll still make more money even if your sales are the exact same. You know what I mean? Like, and people don't understand that, right? Well, and so, like you said, if your team, they're not going to be as incentivized as you are, but that's why you said the bonuses. That's why I loved what you said about the bonuses. If you have appointment setters or people like estimators, whatever it is, give them bonuses for the people that they're providing estimates to or that they're closing deals with in that sense. Because what you said there, man, I'm glad it was golden. Like, you don't need more leads. You need to maximize the leads you already have, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. You have to in this economy as well, because you're just going to piss money away. Everything's more expensive. Everything's more expensive. You have to optimize right now, and you have to get super, super efficient. And if you're not, you're going to get run into the ground.
You are, and I think that, and I just hate to say this, but I think that people overestimate how loyal their customers are, especially in home service. So I used to be a part owner of a junk removal company, right? Sold my stake in it back in 2022, into 2022, right? But what I know is for junk removal, you have 1-800-GOT-JUNK. People could not distinguish our company. Well, they could, but when they would call, we would literally bid for 1-800-GOT-JUNK's number. Like, that's where we got most of our Google Ads leads from, was from 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Because people would call them like, is this Got Junk? And we're like, hey, yeah, this is junk removal company. And they're like, oh, cool. And I think we overstate like how our customers will remember us. Like, oh, this guy will come back next year. No, he won't, because he'll look like, oh, last time I found my company, last time it was called pressure washing. I just typed in pressure washing companies near me. Maybe they'll show up again.
Right.
That whenever you spent money on Google Ads, it was like that person calling like, hey, is this A Pro pressure washing? And it's like, no, dude, this is freaking, you're right now, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Your customers, if you're not touching them, they're not coming back. They're gone. Man. They're going back to Google again.
Yep, they are, man. They are. Well, look, Corey, I told you I want to keep this 45 minutes to an hour. I know you're a busy guy, man. But is there anything else that you got to say to the people? Guys, number one, yes, Corey, share what you said about how people can utilize Housecall Pro, whether it's a video, share that with me. And because we'll go ahead and post that in the description so they can watch that. We'll also post the website as well for you guys that are close to a million, doing a million and above, in that sense as well. I know you got a YouTube channel too. And so, yeah, man, do you got any like last words for the people?
Uh, you know, really, I don't. You just got to keep trucking. It's hard, but we do. There's a lot of things that come with owning your own business. Like you can choose not to go into work. You can take your time off. Like yeah, things are going to be harder. You got to keep pushing. There are things that you can't put a dollar amount on, like having your own time, right? I always say like having my own time, like to take off. Like tomorrow, I'm taking off, right? If I was working for a company, we are working tomorrow. You know what I mean? Tomorrow's July 4th,
Yeah.
so like I mean, you just got to keep going, yeah, I mean, I sound a little weird here, right? I would never ever start a home service company again. Never in a million years. It's really I think the biggest thing for having a home service company, it needs to be the thing that teaches you how to do business, but you have got to be looking forward at the next best thing, or grow that company, right? So to get out of whatever situation that you're in. If I had to go back and start a home service company again, I'm going high ticket. I'm going roofing probably. I'm running Facebook ads right off the bat. I'm hiring an appointment setter and a full-time salesperson, and I'm subcontracting all the work out.
Oh, you
I
know
would
what, Corey?
literally,
Don't give them. Don't give them the secret. I'm just joking. That's what these large. You know that because that's what these large PE firms are basically doing.
I would be a roofing company, right? But really,
Yep.
I would be a lead generation sales machine.
Bingo, bingo.
I'm
And yeah,
not fulfilling the
you
work.
know
I'm
what's
not dealing with the technician. I'm
you know
subbing
what's
it
funny?
out.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, man? I'm just gonna say it on this call anyway. I'm gonna say it on this call anyway. You know what's funny? Is us marketing guys, we said the exact opposite thing that you're saying because we see how much money our clients are losing. So, like for me, I'm like, dude, I could easily start a paper selling business right now, subcontract some guys, just literally like we talk about that all the time internally.
Yeah.
Man, if I had a paper selling, like for example, high ticket, right? Paper selling super high ticket, $1,500, $2,000 average ticket, right? I can
Yep.
easily have like a million. I can easily have a seven-figure business within 2 years with a paper sealing company.
Oh, easy.
Because then I can sub out pressure washing. I can automate stuff to where I can like upsell my pressure washing services and I can just drive leads because we know how to drive the leads for that in that sense, right?
Yep.
And
Exactly.
that's all these big PE firms are doing. Like these marketing guys, when they sell their company, they're like, yeah, dude, I'm starting a home service roofing business. I'm starting a plumbing business right now, right?
Yep.
Literally, we'll just end up doing what you just said. And
Yeah.
the home service guys will end up doing what you do. They'll be like in home service, they know how to do all that, and they're like, I'm gonna become a marketer now, or I'm gonna become, I'm gonna get in the digital world now, right? But I think it goes hand in hand ultimately. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. You got to be a good marketer, period, in your business. And don't post boring shit. Nobody wants to watch boring shit. Doesn't matter how, what thing you do in Google, what little button you press in Google, Facebook
yeah.
ads, whatever. It will not be boring shit. If you can entertain people in your stuff, in your marketing, then you are going to get the leads.
Or at least listen. I think you comment on one of our posts, man, on Facebook because I got so much hate for it, man.
Oh, yeah.
I love it though, right? Because man, you'll just see people in the comments, bullshit, fuck this guy, like you know what I mean?
Oh,
And it's
I
like, dude,
love trolling. I love
yeah.
trolling.
And you even know some of our clients, man, like shout out to like Ryan, like teacher under pressure, whatever it may be, right? That are in the exterior cleaning industry that are easily having $100,000 months. Like people
Mhm.
think it's like so out of like it's so far fetched that you can do $100,000 per month in pressure washing. I'm like, dude, we have so many clients doing that right now, and people are just like, oh, that's bullshit. That's you can't do that. I'm like, there's people out there's a lot of companies out there doing that in that sense.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. I just died on that post.
yeah, yeah, and then
Dairy Queen did 5 billion last year selling ice cream. Tell me that's not possible.
yeah,
Okay.
Exactly, man. So, but you're right. When you advertise, I do things like that on purpose because I know it's going to elicit like people to do that. But you don't know how many people will see that ad and then
Yeah.
they'll message us and be like, yo, so, and then it just drives conversation. You know,
Oh, yeah, and it drives the algorithm. That's
it
what
drives
that's
the
the
algorithm
thing.
because then more people are just seeing it as it goes
More
on. And then
people
people are
comment.
like, yeah. And people are
Yep.
like, oh, who's John? Like, who's
Mhm.
pressure washing marketing pros? Oh, I saw your Facebook ad. It's like, oh, well, dude, you didn't go through the thing. Did you watch the video? Well, no, we didn't watch the video. We just saw it and we seen your stuff sometimes. But like negative
Yep.
press is still good, you know, like you
Oh,
can,
yeah, it is. It
like,
is.
you
Yep.
know, but,
I
but
love it.
yeah, man. But thank you so much, Corey. I really appreciate it, man, for your time. So, guys, all the information for his business, for his services, and everything that you guys can get is in the description below. But like I said, I hope you guys got a lot of good nuggets from it. I did as well. And so really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys have any questions, just leave them below. Thank you guys for watching.